What's good, everybody? We are here with our second secret segment exclusive for Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting us. We love you. You guys are part of our hardcore community, and we appreciate all that you do. So for this month's secret segment, we thought, how fitting, since one of TV's most popular shows is coming back, a Game of Thrones on HBO, to talk about what happened in season 6 and what we are looking forward to in season 7. So if you caught our other exclusive video, we still have our wines hanging around. We tried out the Game of Thrones wines. They were delicious.
Delicious.
And now we're going to talk about
The actual show.
the actual show. So who here has read the books?
Me.
Everyone except Britt. Britt, you've only seen a smidgen of the actual series.
This is true. I've seen 2 seasons. And Game of Thrones is right up my alley. I love medieval fantasy, dragons and magic and raw. It's fantastic. I just don't have the free time to dedicate. I mean, I could make the time. I don't prioritize my time to watching TV shows.
So something that I found when I first started watching it, I didn't read the books first. I started watching season 1. And then I went, who are all these fucking people? And I just got confused, and I didn't like it because I was like, it seems like everybody good's gonna die. Yeah. And then and I get anxiety about it if I don't know what's going to happen. So what I decided was I'm gonna read all the books, and then that way I will always know who's gonna die.
Well,
except now foiled again by George R.R. Martin, because he writes slower than the TV show is going. So now I don't know what's happening anymore. Because we have now passed the books.
Yeah, so we've been past the books for a couple of seasons now, because we're waiting for book 6. We've been waiting for book 6
forever
for a long time.
Define long time.
It's been
As someone who doesn't literally know.
Several years.
4 years? Let me double
more than
check.
a
When
couple.
book 5 came out,
been like
Dance of
4 or
Dragons.
5. It's been a long time, friends.
It's been a while.
But so my question, Brittany, I had a question for you, and then I
Dance of Dragons was published July 12th, 2011.
Jesus.
So it's been almost, by the time this video airs, it'll be 6 years.
Yeah.
Come on, George R.R. Martin. What are you doing?
That's a long time.
That is a very long
poop
time.
out 1,000 pages in 1 year. What are you doing?
It's a great question.
What are you doing?
But Brittany,
Making money? What?
did
No.
you
Vacationing.
find it confusing at all
Cashing
the
those
amount of
HBO
people that were in the show and what their relationships were? One in particular that confused me until I read the books was Theon and the Starks.
Yep, I have no idea who that is. No. I know the Starks.
gosh.
I know the Starks. No, I know that. And that was part of the reason is when I want to watch like TV or film, I like to kick back, have my glass of not wine, aka whiskey, and watch and maybe like hop on social media and just kind of chill. And what I learned is if you take your eyes off of that show for a minute, you are like years behind.
Yep.
And it just isn't the kind of show that I can just like watch and chill and kind of, you have to like literally pay attention. It stops emotional resources. And I just couldn't do it anymore.
You have to watch all your favorite people die in horrible ways.
Yeah, that's intense.
It is.
Yeah.
So we watched a recap of season 6 before filming this video, just to kind of like refresh our minds. Alexa and I are probably like the most hardcore of the Game of Thrones fans at the table.
Wow. All right, fine.
Steimer, I'm not leaving you out to. I'm not leaving you out to
include
dry.
me in that sentence.
Are you a hard? How many times have you read the books?
1 each. How many times have you read them?
4.
Jesus.
I've read the whole series times. The whole series.
Why?
Whole series
they don't
through
get better. They get
3
worse.
times. And
missed stuff.
I own The World of Ice and Fire, that giant encyclopedic compendium, and I've read that thing cover to cover.
Good for you.
So and I just recently
Salty
read.
Steimer.
I just recently read the assorted short stories from
Duncan
George.
Egg?
Yes, exactly. It was fantastic, really excellent. And so there's a lot going on, and not saying that you're not a big fan, and you don't need to read the book multiple times to be Salty Steimer, living up to her namesake. But the thing is as a fan of literature, I need to read a book at least 2 times, if not 3 or 4 times, to really get a full comprehensive grasp of it, because there are times during a reading session where you'll just inadvertently skip over stuff, you'll miss things. even when you're watching a TV series or a movie, you'll just miss things in the first viewing, and you need to go back and watch it again or read it again to really get the full experience and make sure you pick up all the small
Like
nuances.
a video game.
I do
Yeah,
that as I'm
exactly.
reading it the first time.
Do you though?
I do. No, I actually go.
You never
Nope.
miss anything.
No, I'm not saying I don't miss anything. I'm saying I often reread several sections of the book as I'm reading it the first time. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
I'm not saying I don't miss anything. I miss a lot of things. Like for instance, when I read the last book, I think it was, I had gotten confused and mixed up. I thought Tyrion had grayscale.
in the books he
Yes.
does.
Does he? Because I was
Yes.
talking with a friend and he was like, "No, he doesn't."
Yes, he does. You might say that as a spoiler, but the books have been out for fucking ages
Wait.
now, so.
I don't think he does because we looked it up. Look it up on the Wikipedia because it
Okay.
does
He
not. He
doesn't.
doesn't. He keeps checking himself for grayscale.
Define
It's not him,
grayscale.
it's-
Grayscale is
it's what's
the
his-
weird skin disease that Jorah shows Dany at the end of
That's
that
grayscale.
recap, where it's like
Tyrion-
Do you turn into a dragon?
you turn into a stone man.
Tyrion
Oh.
doesn't
Or
have it.
woman, I
It's
It's Jorah.
no, it's
Oh, wait,
not.
no,
it's
'cause
not
Jorah's not with
Jorah.
him.
I forgot his name.
It's
the night. It's the
It's the guy that's with him.
the knight that's guarding the potential like heir to the throne.
Yeah.
Whose name escapes me right
I
now.
can't remember his name either because there's 5,000 people's names in this.
You're talking about the other,
the captain of the ship
The ship captain in
that's
Valyria.
taking Tyrion, and then also the other
I
T-
forget
the other Targaryen.
Okay, so how similar? Like, if you had to get a percentage, books and TV.
60-40 at this point.
Wait, sorry. What's the percentage?
60% accurate, 40% not accurate.
Ah.
Would be my guess at this point. How do you feel, Miss
50-50.
Korea?
about
About how true the television series is to the
They
literature.
fucked Dorne up real bad.
I feel like they're doing a lot of condensing of characters just because on TV you don't have the luxury of having, a cast of 80 or whatever the hell number of people are in their books. Like, what was her name? Ariane.
The princess of Dorne?
The Dorne princess that they just completely cut from
I
the
was
show.
heartbroken.
Like, she's one of the most badass characters in those books. And like, I just think not including her was maybe a big oversight considering how awesome she is.
I think they
but
could have done an entire season of Dorne.
of Dorne, I think they're condensing for time and they're picking the plot points and the characters that fans are most interested in. I don't doubt that we'll probably see a lot more of this stuff, like a lot more of these other characters that we care about in the books. I just think for TV, for HBO's sake, they're condensing and just like picking 2 or 3 and bringing them all together.
Absolutely.
The guy that we were talking about is
John Connington.
Yes.
So, under the Bridge of Dream in the Sorrows, the crew of the Shy Maid are attacked by the Stone Men. Tyrion Lannister falls into the Rhine, but John Connington manages to pull him out, saving his life. However, John becomes infected with grayscale, and in the process, John Connington keeps his grayscale secret, soaking his hand with bad wine since he fears if he asked for vinegar, people would realize that he is infected.
Yeah. So that's in, but see, the first time I'd read it, for some reason, my brain was like, Tyrion's got it.
And this is what I thought too. Clearly, this is why you need to read books more than one time.
Yeah. But I just don't have time
I
for
proved
that.
my theory.
They're too long.
They're not too
They are
long.
very long.
They're not
Well,
that
here's
bad.
the thing. I really didn't like the last book.
Okay.
I felt it dragged on way too much. Dany was way too whiny and indecisive.
She was in Marine for far too long. I agree, and that's why I appreciated about the series. At least they finally made
sped it
some
up.
movement. She's been squatting in Marine in the series for way too long.
I also appreciate, so in the books, or at least in the last book, Dany is very much like, I want to have sex with him, but I can't. Oh, like, but I want to, but I can't. Like, she just does that a lot. I'm like, oh my God, just sleep with him. Like, who cares? And the show very much is just like, nope, they're sleeping together. I'm like, thank you.
So, Brittany, what is your kind of perspective as someone who watched only a few seasons of the show and now you're kind of trying to get caught up? Are there any particular characters that you remember from the episodes that you watched that you're actually interested to learn where they're at, how they're doing, where their storyline is?
Dany, that's her name, right? I said that
The
right.
blonde
The Mother of
the
Dragons,
white-haired
yeah.
girl,
Daenerys
Yeah, yeah.
Targaryen.
I really enjoyed her as a character for the couple seasons I watched. So it was interesting for me to hear that you just said that she's still in wherever she is, wherever she was.
She finally
Sounds like
left.
she hasn't moved. So I was watching the recap. It was like a 10-minute recap of season 6. And a lot of the characters, I was like, oh, they've grown up. Oh, I didn't remember that person. Oh, I remember that person. I thought that person was dead. So it was interesting. I felt like I could follow most of it. obviously I don't know the nitty gritty, but you
sort
know,
of know what's going on.
yeah, I feel like I still know what's going on a bit. And plus, like, Game of Thrones is so incredibly popular. Social media, it's everywhere. So all of the things, like the door reference, and like when Dany's like, oh, I have dragons and I speak this language and they're going to kill you all right now. Whatever moment that was.
That when she's speaking Dothraki.
Yeah, that. And you learn she like knows that language. Whatever it was, like all the major moments I've like seen and I've spoiled for myself, but that's okay because I'll never actually sit down. So, I mean, it looks like it's still same old Game of Thrones. Just a lot of shit going down.
I think it's actually gotten quite
Oh, you
better
think
in the
it's-
last
never mind.
two
I don't know.
seasons. I think season 3 and 4 maybe got a little slow in a couple parts. Like we talked about this when we were talking about fantasy literature. Like it gets kind of slow in the middle sometimes. And we were talking about this during our Harry Potter segment, if you guys remember that. And I had said like I never thought that Harry Potter got slow
Right.
in the middle. I felt like it kind of kept its pace the entire way, which is why I thought it was a really excellent, fantasy series. But Game of Thrones had a couple parts where it kind of got a little murky, and he got a little run down with like the specifics of the names and peoples of houses and the relationships. And I'm like, I don't care about the shit. I just want to know what the main people are doing.
Yep.
And this series did come above most of that, but they did have to do a little bit of exposition. They couldn't be all action because that's really expensive. But I think we're going to be in for a treat for
Yeah.
season 7. So everything that I've read so far, no spoilers, of course, is that this is the most action-packed season of Game of Thrones yet.
And the last season I was the happiest with, because like you said, I feel like the couple prior to it were there. It was like nothing happens, something happens. Oh, everything happens, something happens. Everything happens. Like it was not paced very well.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
And obviously we all love Game of Thrones because of the intricate relationships between these characters. That's what really has drawn us to this series, I think, as fans. But there's only so much exposition that we can listen to before we're like, snooze, somebody needs to die. I need to see some boobs. I need to see a dragon. I need to see something.
Boobs and a dragon.
Or a dragon, or
Somebody
boobs on a
bleeding
dragon.
with their boobs out on a dragon, if we could get that happening.
I'm sure you.
So
can.
I want to
Boob
know,
dragons.
Yes.
what was the most shocking part thus far of the show that you weren't expecting as people who read the books?
The wildfire explosion from Cersei.
Yep. Cersei killing literally everybody.
Yeah.
And then her last child.
And then
jumping
Tom
out of
and
a
jumping
window.
ship.
Yeah.
Why did he jump?
Because he's depressed.
In the explosion, so he was
His
stopped
wife
from
died.
going, and the location that was blewed up was supposed to have his wife, her father, the High Sparrow, his cousin, a bunch of people they knew, and then also
I'm going to stop you for a second because Brittany probably doesn't know who most of these people
Shit.
are.
So people
Alright.
might who are listening.
Right.
people who are
people
listening
are
to. So a lot of people that he was related to, including his mother and his wife and whatever. And when he saw the explosion, he thought that they were all there. Everyone was there and died except for his mother, because his mother orchestrated the explosion from afar. So he committed suicide thinking everyone, like the last members of his family, were dead. So he killed himself, not knowing that his mother
So
was
she's
still
still
alive.
evil, or is
Oh.
she?
Yes.
She
Oh,
didn't,
she's
she
the
didn't
biggest
do
bitch
it.
in Westeros.
Oh, she's totally. She's awful. But it's not like she thought Tommen was going to do that. Like
She
she
sent
wanted to
someone to
save
stop him.
Tommen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
she
didn't want
she
him to kill
sent
himself.
someone to stop him from
Got it.
going to the thing. So he did not go.
Yes, but she did not anticipate him jumping out of the window.
But isn't she like a lovable character?
No.
even though
No,
she's
are
evil?
you absolutely
No.
not.
No?
No.
I'm wondering. Like,
She's
no.
irredeemable.
I think that so lovable isn't the word. I would say maybe admirable from like a power bitch kind of perspective. Like here's a woman who lives in an era where if you read the books, George R.R. Martin victimizes female characters throughout his books in a very brutal way, like sexual abuse, rape, beatings, domestic assault, like he's given a power to a few female characters, but for the most part, we're talking about like medieval times.
Yeah.
These women have no agency. They have no power. They don't get to hold lands. The fact that Cersei has managed to put herself on the Iron Throne in the TV series, which we don't know what's going to happen with her because she doesn't do that in the book series so far.
Well, also Marcella's still alive in the books.
Yes, that's true.
She's maimed, but she's alive.
Is that like... it's really empowering to finally have a female character who's doing something and has some agency and is taking control. Because a lot of the female characters in the books are just like they're like fuck buddies, and that sucks. That he has chosen to put the majority of his female characters in the position, especially when you have really badass characters like Brienne of Tarth, who is this super-powered lady knight who we all love and is strong and confident and powerful and loyal and honest and really exemplifies a lot of really positive human traits, not just female or male traits, but human traits. And it's tough because you want to be on Cersei's side. You want to look at her as like somebody you can be like, yeah, I'm rooting for her. But at the end of the day, she is a bad guy. You know, and that sucks to think about. Like the most powerful female character besides Daenerys in the series is looked at as like evil, and that sucks.
I can think of way more strong female characters than that, though. Sorry.
Well, no, of course in the novel there's a lot more. In the TV
Arya?
series, well, is she powerful?
Yeah,
She's getting
she straight
there.
up murdered Walder Frey.
She's getting
getting there.
there. She just barely got there in the season finale of season 6.
Yes.
Right?
But
She's
she's always had that underlying thing. Like, you always knew it was coming.
Well,
However,
we saw her potential, of course.
she had the power coming, but I think the thing that we haven't really fully grasped until the last couple episodes of the last season is she now has the potential to become actually kind of scary. Like,
she's terrifying.
it's actually quite terrifying to watch this young woman just like just leave this trail of bodies in her wake and is like stalking back to Westeros with murder on her mind. Like, that's scary.
It is. She's a faceless man, but without any rules, which is terrifying.
So I think because like she's going down that path, like she has the potential to just completely succumb to that darkness and maybe also become a bad character. Like, we have no idea.
So, next question. Where would you like to see the series go? What direction?
I want to see Jon Snow and Daenerys bang.
But they're like related.
I know they're related.
I mean,
However,
actually, it
the
doesn't
Targaryens
matter.
fucked each other for years.
You're correct. And also Cersei and Jamie.
And they
also.
were twins.
That took me a minute.
The Targaryens,
Kingslayer,
the
yeah.
Targaryens wed brother to sister for like their entire line.
You gotta keep that bloodline pure, bro.
Right.
I just have been waiting so patiently for Daenerys to bring her dragons and just lay waste to everything.
Except she doesn't need to, like, here's the problem. Winter is coming. And so she doesn't need to lay waste to Westeros, because Westeros is already kind of screwed. Just fighting, but with the infighting
Fighting the
that's
White
happening.
Walkers, yeah.
But what's coming beyond the wall is more of what I'm interested in, because I think the politics at this point I'm a little bored with.
Are you really?
It's just more of like, everyone's done. Like, just like, I don't care.
I don't know. I think that's what's great about Game of Thrones is that you think a family is out and then they're not out. Think about the Greyjoys, right? Like, they took a super blow in the last season, in the previous season, and obviously
Taking a lot of blows.
And in the
Reek,
books, they're like totally
poor
wrecked.
Reek is like he's
Yeah.
fallen the farthest, and quite frankly, he got what he deserved
deserved
a
it.
little bit. Ramsay was obviously far more cruel to him than he probably deserved, but at the same time, like, that family
Ramsay's
needed
a sociopath.
to like check themselves before they wrecked themselves, right? And like they got checked. And they had a tough time, but now they're making a comeback. They've partnered up with the Targaryens. They're going to make a stand against the Lannisters for the Iron Throne. And I'm really excited to see Tyrion face off against Cersei and say, hey, I killed our father. Let's go, bitch.
Yeah.
And to kind of like see like where that goes. And I think the thing this season's been lacking, and the Battle of the Bastards in the last season between Ramsay and Jon Snow was so satisfying because we haven't had these really big battle moments that had really meaningful outcomes. And this season, for the love of God, can we get some good fucking fights in more than just one episode? I'm tired of the exposition. It's been building for the last 3 seasons. I want to see action, action, action. It's a short season.
Yeah.
And we need more.
Winter, like, I think they've already said, like, I think at the end of this past season, a White Raven came. Is that correct? Or is that the one that signals winter?
The White Raven?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure, like, winter's here. Like, we're no longer saying winter is coming. It's
Winter's here.
fucking here.
Yeah,
So
it's here.
Yeah. So it's now everything's going to change, or it should change. And I'm curious to see how. And obviously, I'm very excited for this because this is the first season where I have literally no idea what's going to happen. Anything could.
In one sentence, please, what does winter coming mean?
Everything's fucked.
So in this land,
Does everything die? That's all
Yeah,
I
in
need to
this-
know. Okay, great.
in
That's
this
all I
land,
need.
there are. So you know how in our current world,
One
we
sentence
have.
timer.
Well, no, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I've had wine. Seasons last for a few months. In this world, it's years. So they could be a 7-year summer or a 7-year winter. So if you don't plan ahead, you will die
You're
in
fucked.
winter.
Got it.
So winter is here, and it's the most severe winter that people
They
have
haven't
seen
had it
in
in
a
a long
while. And then, of course, this army of like
White Walkers.
frosty zombies are
Zambies.
here to kill everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let us know your thoughts about Game of Thrones season 7. We're super excited for it. I'm super excited for. I'm gonna rewatch season 6 after watching the recap. I'm
Do we
just
want to
like,
make one
oh my
prediction
gosh.
each of what we think is going to happen?
Sure. You want to start?
No.
I mean, this was your idea, Steiner.
It was. Shit.
Alexa?
I want to see Jon and Daenerys bang.
Bang?
Is that your prediction?
I would like them to have the
Bang
sex
or
and
like
become-
have a
I would like
alliance.
them to join it, to have a serious relationship, a serious business relationship.
Will that actually happen, though, do you think?
Yes,
Like, okay.
I think A Song of Ice and Fire is them.
Yeah, no, I
honest.
think you're totally right.
Yeah,
Steimer.
Sorry, my brain is like complete mush at
That's
this point.
totally fine.
But I would like to see Sansa do. I mean, she had
Sansa.
she
Sansa.
had a great moment where she finally got her revenge on Ramsay. But I want to see her
Thank
do
fucking
more.
God.
I want to see her become more of a power player and move some pieces around the board a little bit more.
So I've read that there will be an unlikely alliance in this season. And I'm trying to think who would be an unlikely alliance. I think it might be interesting to see one of the Starks side with Cersei Lannister
What about Jamie?
in an attempt to fend off the White Walkers. Because we know now that like the great houses have to join together and put their squabbles aside if they want to survive this massive war that's coming. Jamie is, I think it would be an easy pick, right? Because he's already...
Jamie's a redeemable
he
villain.
and Brienne are already BFF, right?
Yeah.
So Cersei partnering with one of the Starks would mean them putting aside the fact that her son murdered their father.
I don't think Cersei... I think Cersei would be the one who wouldn't do it, though.
I think she wouldn't have a choice. I think we're going to see really hard, like, telltale decisions. What are you going to pick? Are you going to let this White Walker eat your face? Are you going to partner with your mortal enemy?
I think she won't believe it. I mean, she's going to need to see some real, like, a severed head.
Sure. I don't think that that's beyond what's happening. I think, like, all bets are off in this season. I think the stakes are the highest they've ever been. Shit's gonna fly.
Oh, yeah.
Let us know your thoughts, what your predictions and thoughts and hopes are for Season 7 Game of Thrones. Thank you so much, friends, for watching our secret segment. You can, of course, follow us at whatsgoodgames.com and find all of our social channels there. Thank you so much for being a patron. And I hope you enjoyed this secret segment.
Keep it secret. Keep it
Winter is coming.
Bye, everybody.